Yeah, you got to calm Kerrigan down first before you start the pod. The ride in today, there was a kid that dropped a fucking lollipop on the ground, and a homeless guy reaches into his pocket and gives the kid $5, and the mother just lets the kid take $5 from a homeless guy.
I thought that was going a whole nother direction.
Then he gets the kid.
I thought you were going to say that the homeless guy, I thought at first it was going to say the kid put it in his mouth, and then I was going to be like, oh no, the homeless guy definitely picked up that lollipop, put it in his own mouth.
I was like, this is the least I can do for you.
Jeez.
But yeah, I don't know. I just thought it was a really weird fucking interaction.
That is weird.
It's like, why would you let your kid take $5 from a homeless person? Also, why is that homeless person giving the kid $5 for a fucking lollipop? You know?
Today, it's hard to tell, though, sometimes when people are homeless. Like, everybody in Williamsburg just looks homeless. Yeah. So, I mean, look at Sam when he walks in.
Yeah, I do it by like a smell basis, and then sometimes that even leads you wrong. You're like, you meet people, and you're like, you live in a house? Why do you smell like that?
Also,
you ever met someone like that? You're like, dude, what's going on?
Yeah, you don't need to be looking like this.
Dude, if homeless people are giving you money, that's time to reevaluate your life as well.
Right. Well, now you know why he's homeless, because he's just giving away $5.
Just $5 at a time.
Yeah, it was just really, really unnecessary.
All right, so let's do a quick introduction here.
We might as well introduce you. So, do you want to do it this week?
Yeah, we got the Sea Otter.
Yeah,
Town Hall thing?
Okay, Mike. This is third week in a row, and I trust you, and I want to hear you. Can you give it to us?
What's the Sea Otter Town Hall thing?
That's the podcast.
That's the podcast.
Oh, it is.
So,
what kind of name is that?
Dude, well,
no one knows.
No one knows.
Yeah, let's change.
I assumed Dylan knew. When he told me like the origin story, I'm like, all right, whatever. I guess
it's fun, dude.
It's fun, yeah.
My buddy Christian came up with it, who I was doing earlier episodes with, and he was like, let's call it something dumb like Sea Otter Town Hall. And then I was like, oh, that's cool. I kind of really like that. And you just picture a bunch of. We got the mascot sitting behind you. Two little sea otters, dude.
I guess if you're gonna lean in, yeah, maybe it'll. We'll see how it works out.
So, welcome to the Sea Otter Town Hall podcast with Dylan Krasinski and Mike Kerrigan. This week's guest, Chris Kinback.
Yeah,
how was that?
That was really good, dude.
Yeah,
I've
been working on it.
That was the best one yet.
I've been working on it.
The last 2 weeks, I've put Mike on the spot, and he's like, dude, I wasn't prepared for that, but that was really good. I'm not gonna lie.
But it's like when someone asks you to do the intro at a comedy, like to bring up the host. They're like, "Hey, would you mind doing like the God, Mike?" It's like, I don't know what to say for this shit. It's like, they're just like, oh yeah, just casually, just like, oh, just go do it. It's like, I don't know what the fuck to say to that.
Right on the spot.
And you got to be all excited about it too. It's like, I don't know.
I used to do the bring up at Nick's when I first started comedy, and I was so desperate for stage time, and I wasn't getting it. So they would allow me to do the bring up because no one wanted to do it there. Yeah. And I would just start doing jokes right off the top.
People are like, Mike, how's comedy going? He's like, I did 5 spots last night, brought up tons of hosts.
Yeah.
Did they like you? Well, they didn't hate me.
Yeah, and in that position, nobody really knows what's going on anyway, so you can get some jokes in before they even realize like what just happened.
I feel like a lot of times at that place, they don't even know they're there for comedy necessarily. They don't know really what it is.
No.
I seen a lady get, I don't know if I told this on another podcast, but this is like for people who like think there's security. A lady once there, she got on the stage before the show. She was about 50, you know, when you shouldn't be that drunk anymore or carrying on like that. She was at that age. She was like flashing the crowd. And, you know, people are like, all right, you've had your fun. And then she does like this turnaround. We're like, what's she doing? She pulls her pants down, all full moon, falls over. You know, the pants are now locked. She can't even get up. So, and she's fully exposed.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know. It felt like 5 minutes later, finally Nick's security come or whoever the guy is, and he puts her right down in the front seat. Heckles the whole show.
This is the start of the show.
This is through the whole show. Yeah. She's screaming. You know, it's a nightmare show. Into the show, she comes up to me and she's like, loved my set somehow. And she's like, great job. I was helping you out. You know, and she's going on about that. And I don't even care. I'm like, I'm not getting paid for this. This club's a joke.
Yeah.
And then her friend comes over to get her away because she can see she's bothering me, and she just sucker punches her friend, right? And then they kicked her out of the show 20 minutes after the show ended. I was like, that's how they run it. That's how you run a club.
That's justice. What is that lady's life like, you wonder? That like every night she's going out and getting into shit like that, or you think just comedy brings out the worst in?
Dude, you know what it is?
know.
I think that people like that, people who get out of control at comedy shows, is they live these boring, normal lives, and they come to a comedy show and they've always wanted to do it, and they're nervous and they're scared, and then they're like, this is the way I can do comedy without having to do comedy. In their mind, they just get wasted, and they're like, this is my night.
It is the most approachable of all the art forms. Like, you would never do that at, like, a concert or anything. But, like, a comedy show, you're right there. You're like, oh, I could fucking talk to this guy right now. Like, he's talking to me. I'm, like, involved.
It's also so sad how, I think we've talked about this, but when comedy, you hear so many interviews with comedians where they're like, how did you get started in comedy? And so many of them are like, well, I went to a comedy show when I was younger, and I saw the guys on stage, and I was like, I could do this. No other art form could you be like, yeah, I could paint that. I could be Vincent. I went to the MoMA and I was like, yeah, I could do that. And then they're famous.
Yeah, that's us.
Comedy's the only one.
We're on our way there. Remember the hideout open mics? Those were where I first.
It's where comedy lived,
like,
baby.
Oh, I could make, like, you see all. I think that was like the first open mics I did, and I was like, oh, these guys are, like, I'm really bad, but these guys are really bad too, and like nobody cares, and it's just chaos anyway. So it's like you can just go up and say whatever, and nobody's really listening anyway. So
those were so fun, dude.
yeah, those were the days.
Was that when you guys ran it? Because I think I did them before you guys.
No, that was like probably when like
Tuma and Stevie Blue Eyes.
And then right before him it was Nakis. That
I was there.
ran it.
I was there for Nakis, and then I left. I think,
Mm-hmm.
but I remember that's where I did meet Tuma for the first or second time. Was at the Hideout open mic, which it was a bad. I do now that you remembered. I don't think it was a particular. I went a lot, but I don't. I think when I was there, it was. I can't remember if that was a good one or not. I think I liked Nakis, so it must have been decent.
Yeah,
Dude, my first year of comedy was so like wasted on I would just do the Hideout open mic and the Green Dragon, and then
the Green Dragon was that was a pivotal place for me in comedy. I came from Norwood, open mics, never done. That when I started, that's all I did was this one mic I knew. I didn't know anything about. In the first night in the city, I did the Green Dragon. It's like the first night I had a good set.
Yeah, and
I was like, all right, because up in Norwood, it was so bad. I was doing so bad. I felt bad. In a Green Dragon, I was like, all right, yeah, I'm still funny. Okay, I can do comedy. That was like my first Jessica Cash.
Jessie Cash.
Casciano.
I remember I used to do that. I used to do it all the time. I used to like email her like Mondays and I'd be like, hey, can I do the show? Can I happy to. And then one time she was like, she finally was like 3 weeks in a row. She was like, we're full tonight. And then finally she was like, I think we're going to move in a different direction, try to get some younger blood. And honestly, the best thing for me, because then I just started going to the Hideout. I met Getlin and I met all these guys. And I was like, oh, yeah, this is way better.
Your career took off
from
that
dude.
point on.
Yeah.
There was no turning back.
Now, 6 years later, here we are.
Look at me.
Here we are, baby. Doing pods on the couch and, open mics in the city.
And I've been saying I've been doing comedy for like 3 years for the past like 6 years now. Whenever people ask, like, how long you been doing comedy? I'm like, yeah, about 3 or 4 years. And then I look back, I'm like, that was a fucking long time.
I've been doing longer than I thought too. This
like
Corona
5
shit.
or 6 years ago, I think that the Hideout. Maybe I went to like my first Hideout mic.
Dude, with Corona and everything, I could say probably 7 years, but no way in fucking hell I'm telling people that.
Yeah,
I just keep going around New York City. I'm like, I'm 25 years old. I've been doing comedy for 3 years. Book me on your show. No way in hell. That's all people care about, dude.
Life just paused for the last 2 years. Yeah, you're right.
Because people will be like, oh my God, you're great for 2 years in. Oh, holy shit. And I'm like, yeah. 2 years.
I did see guys do that, and it worked every time.
It works every time.
They're like, first time, especially when it's their first, they would say it's their first time every time. Like, if you don't bomb your first time, you killed.
Right.
They're like clapping and cheering, like, keep going, keep going.
Basically, when you get to New York, that's when the clock should start, I think.
Yeah.
I've been doing it for like a year.
Start it over, baby.
Because you think about it, like, time, like the way you measure it by time, but it's like if you're doing a mic every 3 weeks or something, and you're counting that towards your time, or you're doing like 3 shows a night. There's a big difference in what a year is. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, I did more comedy in that time period, right halfway through Corona till the vaccine mandate. I did more comedy than my whole career, and I mean by leaps and bounds, because I was a low. I think some of the guys I came up with didn't realize that. They just assumed I was getting up somewhere else.
Yeah.
But when they were doing shows, I was just doing mics. And then if we were on and I would always be bottom barrel show. It would be one of their mic shows that someone had booked them on. That was like my only show that month. So maybe that's why I would try as well.
Dude, you were in the open mic grind for a while, right?
Forever. Here? Boston too. I wasn't doing that much stage time because you guys weren't there yet.
Yeah.
So I wasn't really passed anywhere. I mean, I did Nick's a lot, but I wasn't paid. I was just doing guest spots or whatever I could squeeze into.
Yeah.
And I didn't do the studio that much, so it was a lot of mics.
Did you ever do the studio?
Endless mics. Not really. No. I did it like maybe a couple times, but I would never get.
Which is honestly a godsend for me, because otherwise, if I got in the studio, I never would have tried to create my own show or create my own stuff, and that was.
They're heavily going to try to mold you towards their.
Yeah, that's why you see a bunch of the studio guys who all just are doing John Mulaney impressions, and then they come to New York and they're like, "Oh yeah, nobody gives a shit about this."
I'm trying to. Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, it's kind of a blessing that.
Big
shit
time.
wasn't working out in Boston because then it forces you to move too.
Do you have any?
If you were having too much fun there, you would probably just stayed.
Do you have any like horror stories? Any horror like shows? Any really bad experiences at comedy?
I mean, almost every night. Can't think of any that like particularly stand out.
What was the day? When was the day, or I don't know if it was a day, but when were you like, and why were you like, I'm doing comedy now in your life? No, you're going to start comedy. What were you doing previous? Were you like a work?
Yeah, I was a regular fucking worker.
9 to 5?
Desk job, yeah.
Desk job, Kinback, all right.
Yeah. And
I can see you like trying to pretend that you're from that world, and they're just
definitely
not working out.
Didn't work out. No, I would suck it up every day and go in and be like, this is not. But I mean, I feel like a lot of people think that.
That's pretty much the whole America.
But I totally didn't. I totally didn't fit in. I don't think, and I would just never do that well. You know, it's like no matter how. Like, you know how they're like trying to get you to like work harder and like do like, oh, if you do this, you could be here. It's like, I don't want to be there.
Yeah.
So why would I do that? You know, like I don't want to be the fucking manager here. That's the end goal. It sounds fucking like a nightmare.
Yeah,
so,
dude.
Yeah, it I don't know. Maybe it took a while for me to realize it, but
and
or just admit it.
Give me your night. Where was the first night you're like, all right, I'm doing an open mic? Was that what you did? You went an open mic, right?
I think I took a class first. I took 2 classes because I was so scared to do it. So I took the class at Improv Boston. At the end of it, you do a performance.
Yeah.
And it went pretty well. And I was like, okay, cool. And they're like, okay, now start doing open mics. And I was still too scared to do open mics. I was like, I'll do one more class. So I signed up for another 8-week class.
Was it just 101 over again?
Yeah, it was just the same thing.
The same teacher?
No, different teacher.
Who was the
teacher?
teacher?
I was like, oh, a different teacher. Dana J. Bine. And I think Rob Green might have been one of the teachers.
Nice.
We had some. We might have had some fill. There was fill-in, like Gary Peterson was a fill-in.
Yeah, I mean, he should be a teacher there, obviously.
So yeah, it was all that, and then I think after the second class, I was like, okay, I can't just keep dropping money on class. I got to go to an open mic.
Yeah, dude. That's the way to go.
And then the open mic. I'm trying to think what the first open mic was. It might have been Middle East. It was probably the first one, and that was terrifying because everybody's in the back, like making noise.
Nobody gives a
listening.
Shit. Except for John Paul.
I was just up there like shaking, and I was like, okay. But yeah, there was literally no reason for me to continue doing comedy after my first like few. It was just so bad that if people saw me, they'd be like, yeah, definitely don't do this. Like clearly, this is a struggle for you.
I remember doing it. What did I do it? I did it. I was doing it in Norwood. There was no audience. There was a couple comics. It was in the corner of a pool hall, but not like. It was like literally in the corner, like a space that was like not usable. No one would come and check you out. And I just remember if I was hold myself to the same thing, I would never do it again either. I think I threw the mic down like at some point. I remember I threw the mic down during the set and walked out. And people chased me out like, don't quit. And I was like, I'm going to be back next week. I was just...
Dude, my first, I remember the first time I did it, it was at the Green Dragon, whatever, and it went okay. I look back, it didn't obviously go okay, but like maybe like the third time I did stand up, they used to have like an open mic. It was a show, but now I realize I'm like, oh, it was an open mic, essentially a booked mic at Hennessy's. It was like a long time ago. And this kid ran it. He wasn't a comic. And I remember I did it once because I met him. Dude, the bartender, there was like some bartender who saw me do like my second set ever at the Green Dragon. He's like, you got to meet my friend. He was an Irish guy. That was a terrible Irish accent. But he was like, you got to meet my friend. You got to come meet him. And I'm going to.
That is a
Dude,
really
that
bad
sounds
Irish
more
accent.
Filipino than
Yeah,
Irish.
I was gonna say
I want to
Spanish,
hear
maybe.
more of that on the. That's our thing. Dude, that'll be part of our thing. Dylan's
Dude, yeah.
inaccurate
Terrible
accents.
Dude, I'm real bad.
That's funnier. I don't want to hear people that are good anymore.
Dude, I just fall into Southern all the time. I'm like, you gonna go to the show? it's like head injury. Oh God! So I go to do this show or whatever. It's like my third time doing that. I don't have any jokes. I'm like, the jokes that I have are not jokes. And I show up, and the guy was like, he was gonna put me earlier. And dude, I realize now. I look back, all the people on the show. It was all like the heavy hitters. It was literally like Whitman and Crone and Bolger was there. It's such an embarrassment. I think about it now. Thank God none of them saw me because like I was supposed to go early and then he kept bumping me. And I was like, I was drinking at the time. This was the reason I never drink before I do stand up. Like my third time there, dude, I'm just slugging Bud Lights. By the time I get on stage, I'd had like 8 Bud Lights. I'm just like wasted on stage. I kept like third time doing comedy. I'm just forgetting shit. And I'm like, no one's like, I get like flop sweat, dude. And I was like, well, this is a nightmare. This is horrible. I'm so shocked I didn't quit right there.
It is crazy that you go back up after
Oh
something
my
like
God.
that. You're like, yeah, that was fucking fun.
Mm-hmm.
Let's try that again.
You know what I think about all the time is now you have like people. So what did you do? Like sometimes if I'm on my way to a show or on my way to do comedy and I see people just like out in the world at night, I'm like, what do people do at night if they're not doing comedy? Like, what did you used to do? Like, I used to just like get drunk. Like that was my Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I would just go out with people and drink. And I'm like, that's so sad.
Yeah,
You got to have purpose.
Sundays were my day for drinking, and that was probably the most I would get fucked up on was Sundays. But yeah, it's you're right. I would always be out and be like, what am I celebrating right now? I have nothing to fucking like. Now I just have to go to work hungover tomorrow, and like it doesn't sound fun at all.
Oh, dude, because you were in Southie, right?
Yeah.
So that's a big Sunday drinking day.
Oh, Sundays were fucking crazy. But yeah, it was just I don't know. Now it just seems like such a waste to waste like an entire day getting fucked up. I mean, unless I had something to like celebrate.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you're just celebrating the fact that you're not at work. That's
Yeah.
literally what it is.
Yeah.
It was like, I remember going to like set up shows. I was walking one time and everybody was dumping out of work. It was like 5 p.m. I was in downtown Boston and I'm just watching all these people like walk to their cars, walk to the train, and they have this joy on their faces. And it's just like, thank God I've escaped. And I'm in my head, I'm like, they're going to go home and drink until they pass out. And I'm starting my night. Like I had a full-time job, but like I'm starting the real version of my night, which is then going to go live.
Yeah.
And live with
Life.
purpose, baby.
Imagine being sober, working a 9 to 5. That would be fucking hell.
I don't know, dude. I don't know what people. I think I was thinking about that the other day because I was looking at some like drug statistic in America.
Yeah.
And even when you think about weed, which we're like is a low on the podium, it's like why? And I'm talking to myself here too. Like why are we high 24 hours a day? Like because people always bring back and they're like people have been using cannabis for millions of years, dude. They weren't blasting bong rips to the level. You know what it is? And we keep going the same direction society-wise. We hate this society. This society has got to be one of the worst of all time.
Do you know what I just saw?
Yeah, no, think about
Right
it.
now?
Like tribal
Kerrigan,
life. Like
we
the native-
always get on this.
This is
we
where it's
start
going. How did
about
we-
20 minutes
how
in.
did
We
we
get
get
into
here?
Kerrigan just totally taking over and being like, "Listen, I've been sitting on this, and society needs to collapse so we can rebuild."
It's not getting better. It's only getting worse. Think about, you know what I love about the Native Americans that people don't celebrate is
Tell me
the
about
Native Americans
it.
looked at this white man society. You know what I mean? They looked at it and they were like, I would rather die than join this. And you know what? I would, if I had the choice, I would be with them. Because if you come in our lives, you're like, look at our country. You'd be like, this is better. You'd see someone who's 700 pounds chugging soda, getting turned out by guys on the internet somehow still. Like, this is disgusting.
And they get their own TV show.
Yeah, you get a TV show.
Oh, have you seen the Fat Sisters?
Yeah, my buddy does a
1,000-pound sister. What
he
is it
does
I've
called?
heard about
Watch
them.
it.
I don't know.
The 2-ton queens. I
Yeah,
think
my friend made me watch it, and
Who's watching these shows?
Oh, I've seen them.
I think it honestly,
insane.
that's how
Who still has cable?
that's how Americans can feel better, because like they're like, oh, I felt bad, but at least I'm not 700
at least I'm not
pounds.
Those people. Well, you always hear stories about the people that would get kidnapped by the Indians back in the day, and then they would live with the Indians, and then the white people would go and steal her back, and she'd be like, no, I want to stay with.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, dude, we talked about this. Where they would get like you know who I was talking about it with it?
Joe Rogan.
Artie.
Of course.
Artie was like, I read this book, dude, about how society used to be way better because of community. And I'm like, yeah, like when people like cared about each other and stuff.
Yeah, it's
like,
gotten too big.
yeah.
Now, like, we don't have tribes anymore. Nobody has a purpose. Like, we used to have purpose.
That's
and
what
shit.
I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Like if you were to talk to these people, like 9-to-5ers, like you were, like
it's
almost all of our friends were, there's no.
I'm trying to,
All right, fix it.
you know, taking a brief pause. Hold on.
I'll have to edit
I gotta
it.
get it.
You guys can hear that.
Dude, I don't think
I
they're
can
gonna be
hear
able
it
to
in
that.
my.
It's
I
like
can
a
hear it
slight
too.
little ringing. There's the Alabama sweatshirt, baby.
Yeah, that's wicked annoying, dude.
Oh,
D-
right
you
there
know
we
why
go.
I
There
came
we
up
go.
with that is
Boom.
they're starting to circle in on the travelers in England and Ireland. It's almost over for them, and I was like, they're the last. Like for so
Tribes.
long, I don't think we ever thought, like, because my family's from there. You never think about like what they were doing, and it's like they don't want to be like this. They don't
Right.
want to live like you, and they're going to be.
Are
Soon.
you talking about travelers like gypsies?
Yeah, they're tribal, right? And
Did you just try to? Gypsies are.
they're not gypsies. There's gypsies and there's travelers. There's difference.
What is the difference?
What's a traveler? Like a.
They just don't live in homes. They just travel around.
in a
But I mean,
hostel?
that's the end of that. Like I get it now. Now that we're kind of getting more and more as like, I mean, before they shove you into the metaverse and just which is the Matrix. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Here's my question: how many suicides do you think there were in the Navajo tribe? Like from the beginning to the end, like 2
Yeah, you probably couldn't even.
or
I
none.
don't know. I
And
have
if
no
they did
idea.
it, it was probably in their mind. It was probably some sort of like warrior.
Sacrifice.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
wasn't
yeah.
like I hate myself
Yeah, my job.
and everything
sucks.
about my life.
I hate my wife. I hate all this.
Yeah,
shit.
even if they even have a one.
You know what though? I'll
Yeah.
take a little mental health, a little mental illness, as long as I can also have Advil
Yeah,
and acetaminophen
and PlayStation
and PlayStation, dude.
and
Those two-
podcast equipment.
Acetaminophen. That's what they make meth out of. And Advil, I think, is going to be recalled any day now. For like,
Advil has been the fucking standard for years, and Kerrigan's convinced it's all coming apart.
Really?
At the seams.
ibuprofen's not good for you if that's what Advil
What are you
is.
talking about? Ibuprofen's fine for you.
It's bad for your blood.
Please,
right?
ladies and gentlemen,
Blood
please
clot.
don't listen to any medical advice
is
that
getting fl-
Kerrigan.
this
I
is
don't
getting
take
flagged.
I won't take it. I don't even take Tylenol.
Well, we know, dude. Wait, really?
What do you take for pain?
Nothing.
Just tough it
Nothing.
out.
You just
Well, I don't have. If I was in a car accident or something, I took
Oxys.
perks at the time.
yeah, that's way worse, dude.
Yeah, no, I know, but that was a short period of time. But if I get a headache, I'll go through it.
Yeah, yeah.
I
You
took
just
an
go
ibuprofen. This is why I don't take ibuprofen. I
Drink
took
some
them at
water.
work one day, and I don't know if it was the ibuprofen or not. I had a headache, took a bunch, and I was painting, and I started. I lost my balance, and I was like falling on the wall.
I think you probably needed water.
Could have been any of those, but that's the last time I took them. It was years ago, like 10 years ago. I touched it.
Yeah, but yeah, we definitely lack purpose. I think in a lot of things today, and nobody knows what the fuck they're supposed to be doing.
It's very individualistic.
It's kind of like they're waiting for the government to tell them what their purpose is.
Exactly. That's why people got really.
And there we go.
And we knew it was gonna get there eventually. I think
There's-
that's why people got very excited when they got to like tell other people what to do, like to put on a mask. and
Oh,
shit like
I thought
People
that
got
was the
very-
craziest thing we've ever done. And think about it. Like, if you were the mastermind, let's deputize probably
Everybody.
the most worthless generation of people that have ever existed who we're the laziest. We really are. We're the dumbest. If you went back in time, as long as we've been doing math, like our math level in America,
Yeah.
it's laughable.
Well, we don't need it, right? We have our phones.
Yeah,
and
that's what I
shit.
mean. We're
I got
becoming
phones.
softer and softer.
Yeah.
But other countries really aren't. We're like the marshmallow country.
What do they say? Is soft times make hard times make hard men, hard men make soft times make soft men make hard times.
Yeah.
I think we're right in the thing
soft
of
man
like
time.
we have some hard people, but mostly soft people, and we're about to go to war, so that's going to create some hard times.
We're not going to war.
Dude, they keep invading. Didn't I see something about how Russia went in, and then Joey B, Uncle Joe, was like,
Don't do it.
we're going in.
Don't you dare. What is it, Ukraine?
Yeah,
And
Ukraine.
what, we back up Ukraine?
We don't. I mean,
No.
kind of. It's very loose, but I don't think we can.
What
I
are
don't
they?
think we can.
They're a UN. They want to be a UN.
They want to be a NATO.
a NATO ally.
Yeah.
But Russia's like, no, you were part of the Soviet Union, and we want you back part of Russia. And they're like, no, dude, we're independent, and we're just gonna break down the
I can't believe people are still conquering other countries. Like, what do
Eastern
you do
European
when you
politics
what do you
right
do
now.
when
I
you
think
take
they-
over a country? You just say, okay, you're ours now.
I have no
We
idea
run your
why
whole-
either. Like, it's
If
not like they're a
there's
huge
some strategic reason.
like.
And
I guess
assume
it
they
could.
can take
Do
over
they?
Ukraine
Is
pretty
Ukraine?
easily.
Does Ukraine have access to the ocean? Russia's landlocked.
I think so.
Almost.
Actually. I
So
think
there's
they
some
have.
specific reason they're not. It's not a question if it comes down to it, they're gonna take you. If they really want Ukraine, they're gonna take Ukraine, and America knows that, and Joe
Right.
knows that,
Right.
and they're not gonna unless you're ready to go nuclear war, which
Yeah.
they're not, and I don't think we are either.
Yeah.
So I think it's just kind of a lot.
What is Ukraine? Why haven't they already taken over Ukraine? Why have they waited this long?
I'm not even. I don't even know.
I saw something today. I saw a tweet today, this morning, where it was like, they were trying to blame Trump. They were trying to blame Trump for. They were like, "See, a weak president. Trump was weak, and that's how they prepared, and they were biding their time." And I was like, "Dude, that's literally the opposite of the argument you're trying to make."
Anything
I heard a wild one today though that was like the wildest connection I've ever seen. It was like I'm almost getting into him at this point. It was like, oh, what did they blame? They blamed him for something right now that's like specifically their fault. I can't.
Well, dude, could you imagine? I doubt Putin's going to do that with Trump, because like Trump is that unstable where he would be like, you know what? Yeah, let's just bomb the capital of Russia.
I don't even know.
See what they do.
Dude,
I think Trump would probably, if he now I could be dead wrong. That he'd assess it, and probably if it came down to it, he'd be like, listen, they can have it. There's nothing we like. How much is it worth for us? And is it our business? Really, that's where I come into play.
Yeah,
Like why?
we talked. Jeez,
That's where Kerrigan comes in. He's like, this is where my expertise is.
Yeah, is this
that's
any
the
of our
platform
business?
that you're running on.
Dude, I had a girl the other night.
Oh, this is what I did want to get into eventually, but yeah.
Something came up and she's like, "Oh, what are you? You must be a Trump supporter or something like that." I was like, "Is there a Trump to support right now? Like, what are we talking about?"
Giannis golf tours.
What was the level? What was the thing that
I don't
you
even think
did?
it was even brought up. I don't even think it was anything. I don't know. Maybe it was something that I just didn't agree with her on. She's like, "Oh, you must be a Trump supporter." I was like, "There is no Trump to support right now. What are you talking about?"
Yeah, I follow him around the country. I
Yeah,
watch his
like-
speeches.
and
He's
she's like,
about a 12 handicap right now. I'm really hoping he can get it lower.
She's like, "I stopped talking to my entire family because they were Trump people." I was like, "All right, maybe you've gone a little too far." With
You should have
this.
just
maybe don't be bringing up politics on a fucking date. You know?
But that's like a big
yeah.
thing. It's like for some women, they're like, they're like using sex, and this is I think they learned it in a class. No, I'm serious. There was a
Wait, what do you mean?
it was like
To,
an
like,
online
weed
thing.
out guys.
They were trying to like use sex to get people to vote the way they want, and like so some group went to the young women like they always do. And they brainwashed them with it, and they're like, use your. It's all about like this vag-centric like superhero, like use your vag to corrupt men and like slide them into our.
I mean, you
political-
can get guys to do a lot.
This is what will get us canceled. Is this? We're gonna. I won't make this a clip.
No,
but,
this is the
I
only
think that's
clip
a
I
hot
want.
take. I think that's a
that-
hot
that
take.
is a
Put
hot
it all
take,
on
dude.
me. Put it all on me.
Anytime you could use vag-centric in a sentence, that's a clip.
Yeah, man, I find a lot of that stuff is I don't know what it is about like in the 90s and before like it was all internet, it was magazine articles. Magazine articles controlled women.
Cosmopolitan.
Bulimia and anorexia are learned from magazines. That's
Yeah.
how girls got them. They're like that's
like
how
there's
it
a
worked.
big problem with
And-
this stuff. with
Yeah,
these
and you know
things.
what's sad now is you'll see the occasional white girl that's still either anorexic or bulimic, and it's like, hey,
Dude,
hon,
you got to
gotta
put down the
upgrade.
magazines.
yeah, honey, no one wants anyone skinny anymore. You're wasting your time. It's all about big now.
Yeah.
And you see these white girls, you're like, dude, you're stuck in the 90s with this bulimia shit. No one wants skinny women.
You don't hear much about that anymore, huh?
Because
You're right.
most people, they don't
They've
want,
stopped
now they're
talking
getting
about
butt
them?
injections. That's
Yeah,
the new
yeah.
thing. They're doing these illegal parties at hotels where they're injecting God knows what into their ass.
Well, I kind of like that. I like that they've upgraded from too skinny to fucking. I'd rather have too fat,
Big bucks, dude.
too fat an ass than too skinny.
Yeah, too skinny's not, it was never healthy. That was like a elite, that's my theory on that. That's the thing only elites come with, because any like normal working class people, you'd pick a woman that looks robust that can give you children. But these elites are sickos. They
just
don't
want the
care.
skinnier, the
They
better.
keep you in a cage, get you all like half dead. That's like their
Right.
thing. They're like, oh, I like a woman who's like,
Skeleton.
like deranged.
Did you
Drugged
just say
up.
you'd pick a robust woman?
Yeah, you know, like
Yeah,
a nice
something voluptuous.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's
you want
nature, baby.
Some nice birthing hips.
Hips.
Yeah,
I'm talking
hips
about.
and-
All right. It is crazy how like when you look back at like beauty standards for mostly women, but men and women throughout like the years, like look back at like the hottest, like, and I'm talking in terms of popularity, the hottest like actresses and models from like the 90s, early 2000s. Dude, it's crazy. They're like, you look at them now, like I saw a picture of Tara Reid in like, I watched Road Trip.
Yeah.
Road Trip. Dude, she is like unhealthy skinny in that movie. You're like,
yeah,
oh
yeah.
my God, dude. But
Yeah.
like everybody at the time was like, "Oh, she's the greatest. She's beautiful."
Yeah, she was
and it's
the
just how like all the shit changes like year to year.
Yeah. Plus, in real life, when you see someone that, see in the movies, they make you up. Like in real life, when you see those like models, it's like, oh, you don't look well. You know, they look sick.
Dude, that's like Brad Pitt. They say like Brad Pitt in like Fight Club when he takes his shirt off and he's like ripped, dude. He's like super skinny. He's jacked looking. But in real life, he's probably what, like 6-7% body fat? Dude, you put clothes on him and he's going to look like frail. Like he'll look tiny. Yeah. Dude, once you get a certain like 10 to 12% body fat, you look strong. You look good without your shirt on, and you look strong with a shirt on. Once you get to like 6-8%, you put clothes on, you're so small that like most people are going to like look skinny and
I
frail.
wonder what we're at right now.
You look weak.
Kerrigan.
This is the
Yeah, we
fattest
look
I've ever
weak.
been in my life.
You look good.
Oh, thanks.
Dude, we should do that. We should do a live body fat tester
Body
on the
fat
pod.
index.
I think
Yeah.
I could lose
How
whatever
do you
I
do
got
that?
pretty
You
quick.
you like pinch something or something?
Now they have different ways to do it where you can go to people and you like they do like water displacement, so you get in like a tub that like the water I think that's the most accurate way to do it.
What?
Yeah, you know, I've been trying to do it and they're just like, dude, you're way too fat.
fat.
Way too fat. It
Doesn't register?
It
You're
doesn't
off the-
register.
off the charts.
No, I watch a lot of these YouTube guys who are like bodybuilders, weightlifters, and that's apparently, could be wrong, that's the most accurate way to do it is like you get in a tub and then they, you know, measure it that way.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that is the struggle. You know, you want to look good, but you also fucking.
Yep, I've been thinking about like
It
getting
used to be
shape.
the pinching and everything, but I think it's more accurate a different way.
Yeah.
I feel like, all right, I don't know if you guys would agree with this for me anyway. Like if I got married to a woman, I'm giving her 30 to 60 pounds for the marriage. I'm like, bang, babe, that's you. You got 30 to 60, do what you want with it. You
Yeah.
can gain 30 or all the way up to 60 before I'm going to say nothing.
Really?
Yeah. And I think as a man, we should stay in shape. Like
Yeah.
it's kind of
Okay.
natural. Like back in the day, we'd be
Yeah.
out doing stuff, you know, and our wife could gain weight because she's around the house. But now it's like, I think a man should stay in shape because
It's very
When you-
generous of you, Michael.
when you have when you're a little kid and your dad's in shape, I
Such a
remember my dad
feminist.
was in shape, dude. It makes a difference for the rest of your life because like that's how you got to be.
Yeah. You
right?
gotta
And
do
the-
shit.
Yeah, and the wife can get, you know, you can get that's for the ladies out there. 30 to 60, is that not good?
You're a feminist, dude.
In
I
my
think
own
this
way, I
is-
think so.
I think you should get up and start fucking. That should be your platform. Is like I'm a feminist.
Feminism.
I think y'all should get real fat.
Does that include the pregnancy, or what is the?
I don't think I'm gonna be weighing her during the pregnancy.
Those are at
Yeah,
that point she
that's-
can do as much
yeah,
as she
you
wants.
get wild with it during the pregnancy. Forget
Oh,
about
she
it.
She could go 80 maybe.
She can throw stuff at me during the pregnancy, but after that,
So how are you doing this? You're weighing her in on the wedding day, and then you keep a log.
well, you know, the key is, it's going to sound, maybe some people would say sexist, is there's a certain type of girl out there that they start skinny, but they're very attractive skinny, you know,
Yeah,
well
yeah.
proportioned.
Right.
And then for me, I like bigger too. So it's like I had a skinny woman. It's like I'm getting the whole gambit here. And then I like at the end quite large.
Yeah, yeah,
You know? So it's like you're getting everything.
yeah. You get it. You get the whole.
You don't want this skinny
gambit.
the whole time. That's what's wrong with these guys.
Right, right.
Then they
So
throw 'em
you're
away.
gonna work to be plumping her up as soon as you get her in the door. If she's
She'll
too
take
skinny,
she'll
you're gonna
take.
be,
Yeah, I'll help her out.
you
But
think it'll just happen naturally.
I think we should embrace the natural guys. Look at it that way. You know, it's like you're getting 5 different body types in one woman.
I'm not gonna lie. When this started, I thought it was gonna be offensive, but wow, dude, That was very insightful. You're
I feel like he
being
could make
very.
I feel like he could get too offensive.
I feel like
it'll
was
get
borderline.
there eventually.
I feel like some listener is going to be like, "This is horrific."
Dude, my comments on YouTube been getting a lot more attention lately. I'll tell
Really?
you that. Yeah.
What do you mean? What are you doing?
Your own comments?
Yeah, I've been doing comments on YouTube videos recently.
What, just like hot videos?
Yeah,
you
just
chime
like
in?
hot takes where it's where they're all wrong. You know,
Yeah,
where
yeah.
everybody's lying. Like they had this. It started with Snoop. Okay, it was Snoop Dogg and his wife, and it may have even been like kind of like a Christian thing or like whatever. These people aren't like whatever. They're basically saying, look at this as a good example of marriage.
Really?
Snoop Dogg and his wife. It's like, have you listened? Name one song where Snoop Dogg isn't cheating on his wife 7 times. I watched a video of Snoop Dogg saying, I always wanted to be a pimp, and now I've been, basically he was talking about selling women to like professional athletes. And this is these are the people that I have a problem with. Like these people that are like, because I believe in God, that also believe in God, are like, yay, Snoop and his wife, that's how you do it. It's like, how delusional. That's why the society continues. They walk around with these stories in their head that are just totally false. Like the Queen of England, like they're all good people. You know what I mean?
They're not trolling. You think they genuinely believe
Oh
that?
yeah,
Or you think
genuinely believe it.
I think they also might be delusional.
That's what they are,
just like-
delusional.
and
I
they're
don't
just like,
even-
oh no, all that stuff doesn't matter anymore. Now this is what it is. But
Like,
yeah,
I see them-
rappers get like a free pass on a lot of stuff. Like when they're canceling people, it's like, how do you not look at that, like the lyrics of one rap song, and be
Well,
like,
I'm
how
sure
is
it's all
this
deliberate.
allowed on?
Well, it's
certain
then
shit.
I feel like rap
100%.
gets the pass where people will be like, "Oh, that's art," and it's in the context of art. So
Yeah,
it's like the one art form where they're like, "Nah," but people will look at comedy and it's like, "Nope, you said it, so you really believe that."
Yeah,
And it's
yeah.
like, well, not really.
It's more obvious, maybe.
I also don't think that they believe it. Back to your take is like, I don't think they necessarily believe it themselves. They're pushing it because they want you to believe it.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
It's like if
Look
they
at
make
this.
if something is like not necessarily acceptable or whatever, but if you push it on everybody and try to normalize it and make it something, then it becomes normalized.
Right.
With anything that's like a new or hot take or controversial thing, if you just push it onto the society hard enough where they accept it, then it becomes normalized. Like people who leave peanut butter in their cupboard instead of their fridge. That's a disgusting thing, but it's become normalized.
Yeah.
Yeah, but-
I do that.
Do you really?
No, but dude,
Yeah.
it doesn't go off.
But you gotta refrigerate peanut
Really?
butter.
I don't think
Interesting.
so.
I don't know. I don't know if I like it.
I like a cold peanut butter, dude.
That's fine that you like it cold. I don't think you have to. On peanut butter, I'm with Kinback on this. It's optional. My roommates do it with mayo, but
talked
they
about
don't do their dishes. So I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna step in here and we'll let nature take its
Right,
course
right,
on
right.
this.
Yeah,
Like mayo
I
on the
can't
cabinet
Although I've heard people with
open.
mayo is basically just eggs, right? And I've heard people do it with eggs, like you leave eggs.
I don't
in the
think you can
cabinet.
leave eggs.
No,
Maybe.
They say in like
Yes.
Britain or something.
He's right.
Unpasteurized?
In,
He's correct.
England.
Or something like
yeah,
that.
eggs will stay long as you don't wash them. You can't wash them. You got to keep them at a steady temperature.
Really?
Overseas, they don't wash the eggs.
Yeah.
So we do wash them, and after you do that process, you need to refrigerate
When do we
them.
wash the eggs? Somebody else washes them.
Yeah, the factory
Okay.
or whatever. Because that's
Why?
why you never catch a feather on your egg or any poop
Oh,
stains.
But in
because when
there,
they come out.
But in England, they don't do.
I think they do some sort of preliminary, like, they get some of the dust off, but
a little Windex.
they don't
maybe.
refrigerate them. They'll just
Yeah.
leave them out, and it's fine.
Interesting.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Dude, have you gone on any good dates lately? Because that's what I want. We want it. I figured we
wanna
would
get into
eventually
it,
go
huh?
into Kinback he's Mike likes to call me.
Date night Dylan over here.
He likes to say, he goes, serial dater, date night Dylan Krasinski.
Kid loves
But
dating, and I love that you love dating.
I like to go on dates. I will say
I
I've toned
appreciate
it
that.
down a lot recently because it's just too much. I found that it's too much money. It's too much time. I will say this. There's a weird thing about New York City. I feel like I've gone out with more girls in New York City who will go out and have a good time, who then want to be friends after like 2 or 3 dates, than has ever happened to me in Boston, anywhere else in my life.
Yeah, let's talk about your fucking dating life, Dylan.
A lot of people have been like, a couple people recently have like been like, I really like hanging out with you. Let's be friends. And I'm like, I mean, the only thing that the best thing we had going for us was, the intercourse.
physical, yeah.
And like, even if I like hanging out with someone, like, that's kind of once you go past that thing, it's like, I don't know. You can be friends with people, but
I think a lot of these girls are serial daters too, and they just
Yeah.
want to be on good terms with like everybody.
Oh,
They
that
don't
makes
want to
sense.
have like bad
I feel the
bad
same way
juju
too.
out there, and they're like, oh, I'll probably run into this guy again. I'll say I'll be his fucking friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, it never is a thing.
I rarely get that. I rarely have women want to be friends with me, and that's because
You set
I'm
the
a-
tone early.
I'm a bad friend. I'm bad.
You're an alpha. They know they couldn't possibly just be friends.
I don't even
They're
know-
Like, this guy. Is
Women,
gonna
but
fucking-
certain women definitely do not like. It's a natural thing we don't like each other because there's one woman said she goes, well, she was talking about me and another guy, and we'll say we're on the same level with her. She's like, I'm not gonna be able to control you later.
Yeah.
Basically, I don't know. She worded it differently. She's like, I know how I'm going to manipulate him.
It's predictable.
So she was
You're
deciding who to date and was like,
no, I don't even
you
think
are less controllable.
I don't even think I was in the runnings for that because there's other like women probably think a lot of men are stupid. Like I can see like the value on me for the women, it's not there to begin with. They're not like he's high value. They're like this guy would have to have a lot of money.
Yeah.
Then he'd be interesting.
Right.
Which I do. I don't know if you guys ever thought about this. As guys, you ever seen these videos where guys are like, you only want me for my money? And it's like, I think that's fine.
Yeah. That's
Right?
why
Like,
that's why you get all the money.
Yeah.
Why
And, like-
else are you working for the money?
That's
if
why
don't
you
want
can
Exactly.
be. That's why you can be like horrendously ugly and be good at a skill, whether it's sports or comedy or a musician or an artist,
levels the
or
playing
have a
field.
ton of money and be like in tech or finance or Wall Street or whatever.
Right.
And
I'd
it
much
levels
rather
the player
that.
field.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where girls, it's basically you have your looks or you don't.
Or you have a great personality.
Yeah. What's that gonna do for?
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't hurt, but it's like, guys, if you have money and like you said, a skill or something like that, that can make up for so much stuff. So it gives you an
Motivation.
out. Yeah, it gives you an out to fucking be like, oh, if I want to change my entire.
I think
outlook on
most of
life,
my
I can do
friends
that.
started comedy because it was like you're funny in real life, and it's like, this is how you can kind of meet girls, is being really
Yeah, you get
fun
chicks.
on stage and like desirable on stage, and then you meet girls that way.
Yeah, I've never had a ton of luck from comedy.
I've met a few
women from
people
that.
after, which is nice. Can I tell you? I'm on Hinge, obviously. I want to tell you this one thing
Yeah, let's
because
hear it.
I just thought of it, and it was a message from yesterday. It was so frustrating. It was so annoying, but also not invested at all in it, so it didn't really matter. But it's such a weird thing to say. So I matched with this girl, and I'm talking to her for a little bit. Very, very, hi, hello, whatever. Hey, we should get a drink sometime. Like I'm very quick to the point of like,
Yeah,
everybody's matching with so many people that if you don't get to the point of like, let's go on a date sometime, you're not going to ever meet this person.
Yeah.
Right. So I was like, so when should we have our first date? And she was like, sent like smiley faces and was like, when are you free? And I was like, are you free Friday? This is yesterday. So she's like, yeah, I think I can do Friday. What do you have in mind? And I said, I don't know. How about some maybe some drinks, maybe some apps? What area of the city do you live in? So I can like then think of a bar or a restaurant to kind of suggest. And she literally responded right away. And she said, thanks for the invite, but I typically like something more thoughtful and engaging on a first date. And I was like, what the fuck does that mean?
That was like a
That's
work
insane.
email. That's the type of stuff I'm like glad she sent that because I never want to be with someone like that. It's like work email-ish.
yeah. Like, what do you have?
Oh, she said thoughtful and intentional and engaging.
And what?
And I was like, what does that mean?
Yeah, it's insane.
I literally said, I was like, oh, well, what would you have in mind? / what would be more
yeah,
intentional
that's
and
good.
engaging? She never responded.
See, that's my problem.
But I have,
Okay, I want you
I
to
also
just know.
have no idea what that means.
Yeah, that's psychotic.
Thank
I mean,
God
that's
we
the
didn't
thi-
go out.
That's the thing with chicks; they just have so many options. They can just be like sit there like they're the fucking king
Yep.
and be like, "No, do more." And it's
Mhm.
like, I don't want to do that. That's dumb. Like, I want to see if I like you. Like, why would I set up all this time to a stranger that I don't even know? I'd like to know you first, and then maybe we can do something like that.
See, I'm the
you know?
opposite. I'd rather match with someone, and if I find them, which is tough, but I mean, it's the same way if you meet someone in a bar. Before you know them, you're immediately drawn to their physical appearance, right?
Yeah.
That's the only thing. So, like, getting to know someone before you decide to date them is, I think, the best way to do it. But like online, you see someone, if you think that they look good, you talk to them. I'd much rather just hey, let's get a drink. Because what is that? An hour of your time? You go and meet them. I usually do a mic before or a show, and then I go out for a drink.
Yeah, you can squeeze it in.
But it's too much now, dude. I've taken a break because I'm just like, I was telling Kerrigan, I've told it's just like too exhausting, dude. It's a waste of time.
They get too many options. No, I don't think it's a waste of time. I think you got to keep, what other option do you have? You got to keep getting back on the horse.
That's true, dude. That is true.
You could be gay. You could be celibate.
Yeah, I have seen this on dating apps too. Is specifics that women put down that we don't as men. Like this, like you were saying, they have so many more options. Like I seen a lady. She goes, "I want a guy 6'3", no white guys. He." Like now, as
She's got her preferences, dude.
she's allowed to put on no of one race.
Yeah,
like we can't do that.
crazy.
I can't be like looking for a big titted Latina that doesn't ask a lot of questions.
Yeah.
Right?
You could.
You know what? You're right. I could. And you know what? That's
People
probably.
might respect that.
I bet you I'd get a lot more response. They'd be like, "Yo, that's me."
Yeah.
I think you would do well, honestly.
Or a girl being like, I'm going to prove to you that that's not what you need. You need me instead. You know, you
I need any type of
down.
where they're doing the work is what I need. I need them to be.
You need a role reversal. They got to prove themselves.
So you can tell Kinback knows what he's doing.
Well, Kinback's a pro, dude.
I live with a dating coach. So
Oh no shit.
Yeah, Artie's a fucking.
Oh
Yeah.
you're
dating
Artie's. What
You
do you
didn't
call
know that?
Well, I knew he lived with Artie, but I didn't know that he had become
Apprentice.
like Artie's
Oh,
like
yeah,
now
I've
like a
been working with
Jedi
Artie.
master
Oh yeah.
of this, and he's his Padawan learning his like
Padawan.
He's like, this is you do. What do they do? That mind trick?
Yeah.
Like I could use some of those
mind
on a
trick.
date with a girl.
Yeah, you kind of do some. There's some different tactics that you can use that have definitely helped, for sure. I had my biggest date last week. It all came to fruition. Like all the training and practice I've done came. Me and Artie went out one night to this club called Mr. Purple.
He took me there once.
Which is where he goes when he works with this guy Todd V. I don't know if we can say that. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
I think he probably
was like the
is
number
fine
one
with it.
dating coach in the world. So Artie will work with him, and when they do like training sessions together, they go there. So we went there and we made these two beautiful models. And he's talking to one of them. I'm talking to mine. We're talking. We exchange information, shit like that. I text her. I don't hear from her for that night, and I'm like, fuck it. Like, probably won't happen. I hear from her the next day. I'm like, oh shit, Artie, like it's on. Like, I need your help. Every single text I wrote, I'd run it by him. He would tell me like what to say. We'd bounce off ideas for like a long time. Every text was like fucking grueling. Got her to come out on a date. On the date, I fucking did everything like by the book. Like
what kind of stuff are you doing like that Artie's telling you to do or stuff
Without
that
giving away too much.
Yeah,
here.
well, I mean, just kind of playing it cool because she was like gorgeous, and it was like kind of being like, just playing like not impressed, just being like, what else you got going on?
Playing
for
aloof.
you? Yeah, kind of playing
Okay.
aloof.
All right.
Kind of being like, oh, there's something you're cool, but I'm not sure about. Like trying to fucking like, I guess push her away and make her have to prove herself to me, kind of like what you were talking. Kind of
That's
like the
needed.
role reversal.
Yeah.
Because if you
So
showed
that's a
up
big
and you
one.
were like, "Oh my god, I love you. You're so beautiful. I can't believe this is
That's what I
happening."
would have done normally. I would have
She's
just
gonna
been
be
like,
"You
so
suck."
nice. I would have been so nice. I would have been so like, oh yeah, tell me about modeling. What's that like? Oh, shit.
Yeah.
But I played it cool. So that date went really, really well. Hooked up with her. Had a couple other days where I was playing it cool, and then I fucking just fell. So I was like, I couldn't do it. I fell so hard for her that I was like, I became so uncool. Like we'd hang out, and I like wouldn't know what to say. I couldn't think. I became like a totally different person. And eventually, she was just like, yeah, it was cool and all, but I think we should just. She gave me the old like, oh, we should just be friends. And I was just like, I know exactly the turning point when it happened and how I fucked it up, but I just couldn't not do it. And every date I'd go on with Artie, I'd give him the update. He'd be like, okay, make sure you do this. Every text, he'd be like, okay. And we'd kind of debrief. And eventually I just went off the rails. I was just like, I couldn't keep it together. And then,
Well, you know what, dude? That's tough. That sucks, but good for you, dude. You're being like you're revealing your true self.
Yeah.
And what are you if you're not like if you're in this to actually meet somebody, you have to be yourself at some point.
That was the thing I realized.
You
I was
know?
like, if I'm gonna go down with the ship, I have to be myself. I can't be trying to fucking.
Because imagine
at
like
the end, I was trying to like appease and like be.
Yeah,
I
dude.
was worried. I was like, oh, who are these other guys? Who's dating. Like, I definitely have nothing to offer. I don't have nothing to offer her.
Dude.
And yeah, eventually I just got in my own head.
Where's the weirdest place that you've like met somebody? Because can we talk about this? Like, you like to meet people. Like, I'll do dating apps. I meet people in bars sometimes, but like, dude, you'll just sober, like meet people on the street.
That's the best way to do it.
Like in Times Square.
That's the only way to do it.
Dude, that's a woman's fantasy. Some woman told me that.
Also, Kinback's you're a good looking guy. So like, it is a confidence thing, but like, you do have to.
No, it's really, I don't think it has much to do with looks at all. Cause Artie teaches people how to do it. And it's like, he gets nerds, he gets fucking people that are just like, have been losers their whole life, and he teaches them to do it, and they can do it too. It's just a matter of doing it. But yeah, I think that's the most efficient way. Like, once you learn how to do that, the apps, even going to the bar, I hardly ever go to the bar to meet women. It's always on the street, middle of the day. You're totally exposed, you're totally vulnerable, and she's either like, yeah, I'm into it, or she'll like, the rejections are never as bad as you would think. People are like, oh, tell a girl she looks pretty, and they'll be like, oh, thank you, and then they'll just be like, that's it. You know, very rarely do you get girls that are like, ugh, what are you doing? Like, I've had that before, but it's very rare that it happens.
One time Artie took me to Mr. Purple, and we were like, he was like, come with me to Mr. Purple, and like, we'll talk to women. And I was like, great. Yeah. This is going to be fun. Yeah. So dude, I was super nervous like to do it, because it's intimidating when, especially like, Artie will do this thing where he'll be like, okay, I'll approach the first group, and this is kind of just want to be cool. You know, everybody here is out to meet people. Yeah. Like, nobody's coming to the bar with like one friend or two friends to just talk by themselves. They're there for at the club/bar. Maybe if it's a restaurant, but he's like, people want to engage with other people. That's why they're here. Yeah. So I was like, okay, I'll try to remember that. So like, dude, I remember like he did the first one, and he's like, okay, your turn now. I'll pick for you. So he picks this table with 3 very beautiful women at it that I would never go up and talk to, dude, right? So it's 3 of them, and he goes, go up by yourself and just talk to them. And I was like, oh, fuck, dude.
It's terrifying.
Dude, I was like in my head, bro. I was like, dude, I was nervous. So I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I just go over. And I forget what I even said. I feel like it was a slight blackout. And I was just like, I think what he said, just say anything, dude. Yeah. Just say anything. Like, he was like, he told me once he just walked up with like eating a lollipop, and he was like, you like lollipops? And they were like, what? And he's like, and then they just started talking. Yeah,
and girls are either like down together. Or they're not down. You know, they're either receptive or they're not.
But I ended up talking to these 3 girls and three women, and Artie eventually came over. And like, there wasn't like we're gonna, this isn't gonna work out vibe, but they were very cool, very nice. And the one girl, before Artie comes over, she was like, you know what? I really like about you is like, not many people have the confidence to just walk over to a group of 3 women sitting here. And I was like, holy shit, it worked.
Yeah, you like become a whole new person, because they're like, oh, you are this person that's super confident. You're like, oh shit, I am. I guess I am that person.
Dude, then that night, it was a great night. It was so fun. But then like, Artie only has like 1 or 2 drinks when he does that stuff. I'm just getting like drunk, dude. I'm getting more confident. I got someone's number, and dude, we were vibing, we were talking, I got her number, I texted her the next day, like, we were out for another, like, hour and a half, 2 hours, I texted her the next day, and she was like, I was like, hey, it was really good talking to you and meeting you last night, and she was like, it was great meeting you too, I especially loved watching you make out with someone else after I gave you my number.
Wow. That's great.
That's awesome.
That's great. And you have a even better chance with her now.
No, it didn't. I forgot. I didn't even make out with anybody that night either. So I was like, I'm not going to say that. But I was talking to someone else, and like, we were like very close. It was so loud there. So like, I was like kind of whispering in her ear kind of thing. But I think that's what she saw. But
I mean,
we never went out.
It's a club. What did she want? Like,
we in a relationship?
Dating?
Yeah, we just met.
Yeah. I had a woman, I think I was doing cold. I didn't take the training like you guys, but I was doing the cold thing too. And
cold approach.
Kerrigan's just walking up being like,
it was
you
about
like milk?
3. It took about 3 before I no longer had that fear that was making me not be able to be cool either.
Right.
So I got over the fear, and I was asking him. But another time, this girl that I knew kind of well, she's very attractive. I would never going to ask her out. Never. It didn't cross my mind. She's too tall. I'm into it, but generally I was feeling from her, I'm like, she doesn't want a guy my size.
How tall is she?
at least I would say if not 6, around 6. But anyway, it wasn't on like I don't like tall women. But anyway, so this girl, we worked together kind of loosely. Yeah. But I don't, I'm not hired by, so I could date her if I wanted.
Right.
She came up to me outside. We were doing something, and she goes, afterwards, she goes, "I'm all yours." That means nothing, because you know what women are. They're in a mood. Then she walks outside, looks me directly in the face. There's no one else there, and she goes, "You're beautiful." So I go, "Oh, all right, got it." Yeah. I went in and asked her out immediately, and she was shocked. When they're not mad, not like off, but shocked that like she couldn't comprehend what I was doing. And that just goes to show, like, as men, we don't get compliments. Women do not walk up to men usually and give us any. If a woman walked up to me and was like, "Ugh, good enough, I'm all hers."
Yeah.
You could say anything.
Wait, she was shocked because like she wanted to go out with you?
Absolutely not.
But she just genuinely thought you were beautiful.
She was high.
She was
high on weed.
Yeah.
And she was just saying stuff.
Right.
But I go, what's the it was too many signals where I'm like, I can't walk away from this one. Because, dude, no one in my life has ever walked up to me. Well, that's not true. Anjan did one time. But other than that, like, people don't walk up to me and say, "You're beautiful," as a man. Has that happened to you?
No.
And you're good looking. What about you?
Rarely.
No, I don't think ever.
But if a woman did walk up to you and go, "You're beautiful," and she's very attractive, you're going to go for her, aren't you?
Dude, one time I was on a date recently with this girl, and I told her this. Like, after the first date, we were hanging out, and again, at the end, she was like, maybe we should be friends after like 4 or 5 dates. I was like, yeah, that's fine. But on the first date, dude, she like ran her hand through my hair, like literally put her hand, like ran it through my hair. And then after, she was like, "I don't know why I did that. I just really wanted to." And I like immediately was like, that's the most intimate thing I think anybody's ever done to me. Like, dude, I was like, fucking, oh my God, that was so great.
Chicks can do like the slightest thing and you just fall madly.
Oh, they touch your arm
Oh,
somehow?
yeah, dude.
I'm getting married to this girl. That's the thing. I think girls are much more reasonable about like love and stuff, whereas guys just like, oh shit, like this is.
Dude, I fall in love in the coffee shop 5 times a day.
All the time. You just imagine, you see a beautiful girl, you're like, you imagine your whole future with her before you've even like,
I used to do a bit about what you just said, and then I gave the premise like away at a mic, so I heard other people do it, but it was mine was, I do what you did, but it's different. Like, I'll see a woman at a bus, like wherever, and when in 3 minutes I'm yelling at her in my head, I'm like, I fucking can't believe this.
It
immediately
the relationship to that level.
It goes directly to like, all the bad. I'm like, how many people have you been with?
Kerrigan skipped the courtship. He's fast forwarded. They've been married for 20 years. They're fucking miserable.
We're not even
together.
getting to the marriage. We're getting to the numbers right off the bat. Because girls'
like,
numbers right now. Dude, they're triple-digit numbers.
You think?
Dude, are you slut-shaming over there?
Well, the guys too, but they're triple digits.
No,
oh yeah,
no,
dude,
I don't
that's
think so,
insane.
dude.
Do the
That's
math.
a lot.
I've done the math.
I mean,
depends on the age.
Like crazy wild.
10 a
chicks,
year,
but
10 guys a year, 10 years, 100 guys.
Jesus, dude, that's depressing.
You don't think these girls are doing 10 a year?
I don't know, man.
You fucking. Not. Oh, sorry for swearing. You kidding me?
Not the ones I'm in love with.
No.
Of course, that's the key with men. No, I'm not shaming the ladies, but
I mean, that is so sad.
And shout out to the people who are putting their date. And this is confidence, and I respect this truly. It sounds like I'm joking, but the people who are putting on their dating profile with a cold sore on, I'm like, that is confidence. Bro, I'm not even leaving. I'm under my bed until that thing clears up.
They're already out. They're out dating.
But that's respect because they're like, boom, I don't give a crap. I got it.
Take me or leave me, baby.
Dude, I guess 10 a year is really easy for
That's what I'm saying.
Even
really
if you dated,
reasonable.
if you date, say, 6 people, you date like, one person for 2 to 3 months.
Right.
And even like not exclusively, but like you're with someone for,
That's got to get exhausting,
2 months.
Dude. I think I've had like maybe 3 relationships in my life. Maybe 2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe.
Do you think you'll get married?
3 actual ones. Yeah, I think I will.
Yeah, you'd want.
Eventually. Yeah, I'd like to.
I think that's good.
I would love a relationship where, I don't know, maybe I could have like multiple. I don't want to say multiple wives, but like kind of.
Do you know what that is?
What?
ENM.
What's that?
Ethically non-monogamous.
Yeah. But the thing is, I thought
it was polygamy.
I wouldn't want.
Well, I think the term
that's
is
a new
ethically non-monogamous.
Okay. Yeah.
Polygamy is like multiple partners.
I wouldn't want her to be having multiple partners.
Of course not.
But I think I could handle like 3. I think comfortably I could handle like 3 girlfriends. I I think I can manage. I think I can manage girlfriends pretty well to the point where I can, like all the girls I've dated recently, I've been like too available for them. So I think I need to get like if I had multiple girlfriends, and then a job, say comedy. That's all I really need. That would satisfy a lot of things.
Dude, I think
life,
that yeah, the being too available definitely leads to people kind of being like, nah, I think this guy seems too available.
Right. But if you got multiple things going on, then it's like you're not too available for any of them.
Dude, I think the most I've had like the most people who like wanted to date me when I didn't want a relationship was when I had so many things going on in Boston, when I literally didn't have time to do anything else.
Right.
Every fucking minute of my day was scheduled.
Right.
I barely had time to go on like a first or second date, let alone a relationship. And that was when like I had so like multiple women through like 2 or 3 years who like wanted relationships, and I was like, I don't want one right now. I'm sorry.
There's something to that. There's some sort of
But now, dude, yeah.
The energy in
I'm ready for a relationship, and it's like they can fucking smell it on me. They're like, we do not want that one.
It's like I won't get a phone call because I don't do, I don't talk to a lot of people. And then when I do, it'll be 6 in a row. I'm like, dude, I've been sitting here for 24 hours with nothing.
Right.
And then there's like some sort of universal law about, and the same with Dylan, like once you start doing stuff, like you're focused on comedy and you're getting somewhere in comedy, you're just not, boom, you're getting people.
Yeah, people come
you're like,
in
where
your
were you for the
circle.
4 weeks? I had no job.
I had
I was
nothing going on.
swiping on everything.
Yeah.
And just for the girls out there dude, we're not reading the articles. I'm just swiping.
I always read the articles.
Oh,
See, that's
dude,
the difference. That's
insane.
why you're date night. You're putting more in.
You're looking for more depth in your.
I want the depth, but I'm
Yeah,
just doing
dude.
it because I'm not getting a ton of. I don't
right,
like.
right now. You just take what you can get.
Yeah, you got to do.
and
I got to
figure
do
out
like
the depth
30
later.
to get the one match.
Right.
Yeah.
And then I'll tell you the little secret. I'm at. Of course, there is a type of people that are very interested in me, and that's men and men that dress up as women. They like me.
And prostitutes.
Those are
that
on
are
the app-
also men.
Oh,
those are
really?
On the apps.
On the apps, yeah, because but I'm looking more now.
Oh, you've opened it to that.
Well, Kerrigan, you
No,
told me.
I'm looking to see if it's a man before I swipe because you can't, when they're dressed up like.
But they can have it. They can put that I'm a woman looking for men.
Yeah,
but still
well,
be
I'm
they can
off
be
a hint.
men.
I'm only on Tinder now. You can get away with
Yeah.
anything on Tinder. You can put up
Really?
a profile picture of a dog.
We've brought this up every episode. Did you hear he said he's off of Hinge? He got
yeah.
banned from Hinge.
Yeah,
That's
banned.
the,
For what?
I have no idea. They won't
Being
tell
too
me.
controversial.
Dude, I barely use the app. But anyway, I
Oh,
guess.
for messages, they can. See
No,
all
my
your
messages
They can
are
kick you,
couldn't
dude.
be any more boring. I had a girl say that one time. She's like, "Oh, you seem real vanilla." I was like, "Sorry, I haven't spit in your face yet
Yeah,
at this
yeah.
point in the date."
Yeah,
That's definitely what
to
got you
say
banned.
to say that to a guy is so risky. Like,
yeah,
on a
and they
dating
don't.
app,
But women,
like, oh,
she
you
knew.
seem
She had no
boring.
intention of doing. You know what I mean? She's just. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know. I think she's used to argue. She was the type who's. Certain women, they need a little bit of an argument. Like, and she was. I'm not talking like a. She needed that.
Some banter.
No, I mean argument. Like
Yeah,
to
yeah.
go.
Oh,
Like
she
she
wants
gets
to
on
get-
you to see how you hit
Yeah,
back.
if you'll put her in her place.
Yeah, she needs
yeah.
that.
To-
And I'm
maybe
not
it's a
going to do
test.
that.
No,
I'm not
you're
going to do any of it.
What do they call that? A shit test?
Yeah, it's a shit test. But you also don't want to be too emotionally invested in a stranger. It's like these girls want you to be emotionally invested. It's like, I don't know you.
It's a bad thing
I'm
to
a
do on
person
the
on the
dating apps
street.
is like when you, because that's sometimes I've noticed that happen is I will get emotionally invested in the idea of someone without even getting to know them. And it's like, how can you fall for someone or like really know if you like someone before you even know them? That's why I think the best place to fall in love with someone is in the workplace. Because you meet these people and you become friends with them and you know everything about them from the basis of like, we're friends and we're hanging out. And all of a sudden, like a year in, 6 months in, you're like, am I getting feelings for this person? I know everything about them.
Yeah.
And then you have these deep, genuine connections with people that you can't really form in today's society.
Yeah,
I
and
don't
then you
know.
get Me Too'd and
Yeah.
you're.
I've fallen in
Homeless.
love
With an employee, like a coworker?
Yes,
Yeah.
Cuomo.
If you both, if I'm not talking about like
you just
the
have
boss,
to. Yeah,
dude.
you have to stay below boss.
You got to go
level.
up or equal. You can't go down.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you can go up. I
I mean,
guess.
I've definitely fallen in love at work, and it's
Oh,
torture.
yeah.
It's torture if the girl's like not into you, and every day you just got to see the fucking.
Well, I would never. Yeah,
Girl,
it has to
and
be
you're like, oh, she's so
reciprocated. I'm
hot.
not gonna like if someone's like not into me. I'm just gonna move on.
Wow,
But like,
you have more discipline than
listen,
I do.
I'm very. I've
That's
been,
exactly who I want. Is if they're not into me.
dude. That's the only unrequited love is my entire childhood. Are you kidding me? Do you how many crushes that I've had as a child? Because I think my opinion of myself is way higher than my actual self.
Everybody's is. I think we see ourselves as like
Yeah.
2 more points on the scale than we actually are.
dude.
Like if you're a 5, you see yourself as a 7. Nobody like that's the reason you can make like ugly jokes and shit because everybody thinks you're talking about somebody else.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You notice that? Like everybody laughs at an ugly joke. Nobody's the fucking ugly person. They're all like, "Oh yeah, imagine."
Yeah,
being
nobody's like,
ugly."
I'm the ugly one in the room.
Yeah.
That's who they're talking about
Right.
is me.
I mean, but yeah, it's tough, dude. Just falling in love. I've heard so many male comics recently be like, "Oh, I just want a girlfriend."
Dude.
You never hear guys say that, but now
Ever.
it's like every guy is just desperate for a fucking girlfriend.
They know, dude. All these guys, we all just lived through this fucking 2-year pandemic where like people weren't dating.
Yeah.
And like you haven't fucking, let alone like for like a year, it was just like, dude, I haven't had someone hug me in a year.
Yeah.
It's just like, what's going on?
Yeah,
Dude?
and you realize like how much bandwidth you can free up if you have a girlfriend. You don't have to be chasing women
Yeah.
all day. It's like it's like a full-time job if you're really
It can
hitting
be like
hard.
dating. I felt like not really, not bad, but like kind of is like an addiction where I just started getting addicted to the apps where it was like Instagram, like where I just mindlessly like opened Instagram. One time I opened Hinge like on a date, like she went to the bathroom
Right.
and I took my phone out just looking and I opened it like it was
Instagram.
Instagram.
Yeah.
And like I didn't even think about it.
Yeah.
Because it was just like instinctual.
Yeah, it's
and like I was swiping, I was like closing it out, and she came over my shoulder and I saw her see my phone and I was like,
Oh, that's a tough one to explain.
I was like, did you just see that?
Just prepping
And she was
for
like,
tomorrow.
I did. And I was like, I'm sorry. I was like literally exiting out of it. It was just like, and she was like, yeah, we ended up hanging out for like 4 or 5 dates. But
So she forgave you.
yeah, that happened on like
probably
the
on
first
That's
date.
probably why she went to the bathroom, was to check her Hinge.
Probably, dude. She's like, I got an alert.
These girls are these girls just have so many options. They don't know what to do with
I
themselves.
find them more
think.
wily in dating than men. Like I have to continually
Wily. That's
like I have to
hilarious.
like if it was a computer, like I got to update the software because like my general software, it kind of leans towards like hoping that I've come to the conclusion I don't really think women even love men. Like a buddy of mine used to say that they don't like men, and I really do believe. I really don't think it matters about the man. They need a man. They don't want, obviously they want a higher ranking, but they don't really, because I've watched women as the men, they don't really, they just want them to die.
Yeah,
They just want, they're like, get them, I did my duty with them now.
And there we go.
But
Full
men,
circle.
we really do, like when they fall, certain men, obviously these guys are, doing what they're doing out there, but I think men fall harder.
I think we do. We fall into the like individual of the actual person. You're right. And women are just like, oh, I just want this guy, and then I can do this, and then I can get here. It's like Jordan Peterson has crazy stuff on like the dating hierarchy and how women select a mate and stuff like that, and it's so interesting to hear.
I find myself falling into the same, and I'm not even dating, just like I met a woman, she had broken up with a guy. It was a year-long relationship. She was devastated, and I was just like, oh, I could totally feel it. Dude, next time I see, and I totally bought that, and next time I see her, dude, she was ready to rock. She was like, and she's a cool girl and everything, and I'm not holding against anyone, but I was just like, my brain was I was so sympathetic. I'm like, dude, women, here it is. They get their heart broken all the time, just like men, but I think that's part of their cycle. Some women like that. You know what I mean? They're going through that. Now they're in that down. Then they get their up period. They're putting the lipstick on in the mirror, and you know what I mean? They're whoring it up big time. But that's they enjoy that ride. Is where a man, when we crash, dude, we don't. I didn't enjoy any of it. No. I don't enjoy the down. It's very hard to get up. You're leveled. You're weak.
Right.
And like women, it just seems like they like it.
That's a really good breakdown of it. Yeah, it's just part of their world. It's just
for
part
some of them,
life.
yeah. And I'm like, I feel bad because there's all these lies. She was, these guys lie and they cheat on them. But then I meet those girls and I'm like, if you do not lie to that girl or cheat on her, you're boring.
That's what
you're
they want.
boring.
It's kind of what they want in their life. They're just waiting for that thing.
Yeah,
it's basically their free pass to get out of a relationship.
They need that up and down, and I realized that. Like, I even used to think about that when I was younger because I was attracted to only whorish type women, and I was almost like trying to be like, how can I become a shittier person to the level where I could cheat. And then I think I could have done it, but then you realize once you get to that level where you can do that, you don't give a shit about her either. Now you're just you're free in a way, but now you're you're almost like hooked on that.
Dude, I used to have the
That's a
feeling
really good
of I would
breakdown.
only fall for people who did not want me, did not like me,
Yep.
and it's like trying to gain their approval, and in the process is like mistaking that for like love. I'm like falling in love with someone who doesn't want me, and it's a problem. You know, you got to realize that it's annoying.
Yeah, dude, breakups for guys are just brutal. I've probably had like 3 good breakups, and it's just like, but chicks can just move on. Chicks like cry for like a week, and then they're done.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm still thinking about a girl from like a year ago.
Oh,
And
dude.
it's like like it just constantly, it just, because we never like grieve it properly, I don't think, or we're never like taught how
go
to
to the
grieve it
gym.
properly. And then, but yeah, girls, and they also know like, oh, I can just get another one tomorrow, and it's like he will fulfill all the same things that last guy did. But we think of it as like, oh, nobody will ever be like that girl
Yeah.
that I just had, because I think we have like you're right, like a more human connection. I don't know. I think guys are just fucking, guys are more emotional.
It's
you know?
I don't know if we're more. I know what you're saying. I think in our society it pays to be more of to not care about women right now. Like to be able to
Jesus.
go. No, to be
It's
not
true,
not
'cause
not
that's
care,
who
but
they want.
I read-
they want the guys that also don't care about them.
yes.
I saw something
And
that
then
it was like women fall faster, but men fall harder. We fall
I could see that.
later.
Yeah.
Men
I don't
will
know, I
develop
fell
feelings.
Fast. I fell fast. And
Do you?
yeah.
I could have if the women were if I met girls that were also, I would have fell fast, but it was like they didn't like you either. So it's like you can't.
Yeah, sometimes they only let you fall so far.
Yeah, you're not.
Yeah, if, I'm at a point where if a woman shows me any little bit of attention, I'm like, let's get married. Let's just fall in love right now. I have the chapel picked out, and where are we going on our honeymoon?
Yeah. Yeah,
So-
because then you could, I mean, think about it. You had a girl in here, everything would be organized. Like when I lived with a
yeah,
girl, my
dude.
life was so organized. Everything was like, my
scheduling.
family wanted to see me more. Like everybody's like, oh yeah, come home, bring your girlfriend. It's just, everything just goes smoother.
You're
when you
pleasant to
have-
be around.
Yeah, when you have like a
dude.
chick. That's the other thing. You go on family like vacations or whatever. You go hang out with your family. You have a girlfriend. It's fucking
It's great.
People
Bringing in
tr-
a girlfriend
I'll
on
tell
a
you this,
family
like,
trip.
What the fuck am I supposed to do right
People
now?
trust you a lot more
A
when you
lot
roll up
more.
with a steady woman in your life.
Oh,
You know what I mean? That's why
preach.
guys like Whitey Bulger and those type of guys would have women
Always had a
around,
girl.
so they
Yeah.
could show up to a wedding and not give off like, because everyone else he sold it by himself. They'd be like, this guy's a serial killer.
yeah.
Everyone's scared around. But you have if a woman vouches for a man, other women immediately
I'm just like,
are
okay,
down
this
with that.
guy's-
I've
this
always
guy's
had,
solid.
if you go out with friends, a group of friends, right, and it's like girls and guys,
yeah,
dude, that is the best time to like meet other women.
yeah.
Like if you go out,
You've
like,
already got the social validation.
dude, yeah, like, dude, when like your sister was in town that night, and I met up with like you and Artie and that, but like just having like her and like some of her female friends like at the table makes it just us more so much more approachable.
Right.
Not that happened that night, but like having women just like hanging out and just like being friends like makes you.
And you're less fearful to go over and talk to.
Yeah.
I'm over there with those fucking
Yeah, my
broads,
friends or whatever.
those whores. Yeah, dude, I was at a wedding not too long ago. My uncle is maybe like 60, and he's been single his whole life. And I was standing there talking to him, and he was like, "Yeah, man, single guys like us, we gotta." Like guys like and he just kept saying guys like us, and I'm like, dude, I do not want to be.
Oh.
I do not want to be a guys like us right now. I was like, I need to get married immediately.
Nothing
Because
will
this is
put
so
your
sad.
yeah,
dude, I do think about it. Back to like the
That
society
guy's,
tip.
what is he, 10, 15 years away from a nurse just like fucking
Yeah.
washing him, just thinking about not having any kids, dude. And you're just
Like,
like,
I
I
did
got to
it.
get
I
married to the
made it.
first person I
Yeah,
see.
tomorrow.
Doesn't even matter if they like me.
Getting married yesterday.
Dude, that's another thing I think in our current situation, societal wise, when you think about it, like, okay, there's a lot more people single. We're working a lot. Nobody's doing the dishes. Like, we're all just worn out.
Right.
Like, the women are working. We're working. We're all being ripped off.
Yeah.
Now they're at work. I'm at work. Our jobs all suck. They all sold it to women. They showed like Mary Tyler Moore or someone who's like the CEO of a company. That's one person. The rest of you are working at that company,
Right.
and you want to jump off a bridge. So
Right.
it's like when you look at it, it's like we don't have that. Like, how much easier would your life be if you had a wife? She's cooking,
Well, it
cleaning,
depends what kind of
Like an old
relationship
school
we
wife.
have.
or at least okay, she's working, you're cooking and cleaning,
I would
but
love
you're
that,
not
dude.
working.
Right.
I would
Either
love-
way, you're a team.
Somewhere,
Everything
yeah,
is-
we're doing double the work and getting none of the benefit.
Right.
I'm not going to lie, dude. My dream would be like if I was living this life. I was married to someone who was making some dough, and I was doing comedy at night, fucking taking care of the house, taking care of the kids during the day. She comes home, we have dinner together.
That dinner's ready, right?
I go, oh yeah, dude, I'm cooking
And it's
every
good.
night, dude.
I would
I'm
cook good.
cooking, cleaning, doing the chores, and then I'm going out and doing comedy.
Yeah,
that is
that's
my
a win.
dream, dude. Take
That's a
care of
win.
the kids, getting them all together,
Yeah,
and
maybe
then
she's a teacher
boom.
or something.
Teacher. I'm hoping she's like fucking a hedge fund
Oh, like a
manager,
lawyer or
you know,
some
a
shit.
hedge fund lawyer, you know.
Women are making more money than guys right now, from ages like 21 to like 30. I think I heard women make more than men.
I believe
I
it.
would believe that. I think
Yeah.
they're doing better in school in general.
They're
Yeah.
going to
Many
college.
reasons.
Twice as more likely to go to college than a guy.
Yeah, and
Which is now is the prime
Well,
time to go to
be honest,
college.
dude, there's a lot of like the manual labor jobs or like a blue collar job, which is mostly primarily going to like men are the ones who are applying for those
Right.
jobs at such a higher percentage.
Yeah.
You don't need a college degree. You don't need, and you're seeing it now. You make so much more money at a lot of these blue collar jobs right away.
Right.
Dude, you're an electrician. You're like
Dude,
plumber.
plumbers make more than a doctor
Dude, you make so much money
lifetime
immediately.
wise, or
Really?
almost the exact same.
Oh, because they're making so much early on.
Making
If they invest it wisely.
And if you run your own business, like
dude,
you
you'll be
work
getting
as an
$100
independent
grand
contractor.
in a
Yeah.
plumber in 3 years, and you're paying nothing in school. So when you
crazy.
subtract the loans from the doctor, it's
Yeah,
the
yeah.
same amount.
Right.
But here's something that the feminists won't like. Some
Jesus.
women, if you're going to have a child, if you're going to get pregnant later in life, you shouldn't be doing certain construction work. It's fact. It's just because there's chemicals on the job.
yeah.
That was always the
That was such a random.
I think that's a reasonable thing
It's-
to say.
yeah.
no. It's like coal mining, right? You can't have your wife say she wanted to coal mine, which she
Yeah,
wouldn't,
right.
between 19 to 25. Like you're gonna be wrecked. That's why we would keep women clean. We
Right,
do the
right,
dirty
right.
crap,
Right.
and then they'd have the babies.
Yeah, I think that happens naturally too.
Yeah, man.
you know?
I think that the feminists would probably agree that if they're pregnant, they shouldn't be in the coal mines.
No, the real feminists would be like, let her fucking.
But they're not
work
gonna
in
go to
there.
the coal mines. You know what I
No.
mean? It's the worst job in the world. I think. I don't know. Maybe there's. Take that back. I'm sure there's worse.
Being a
but it's
mother
pretty
is
bad.
the hardest job in the
Bending
world.
over, putting DVDs in DVD.
Is that Bill
players.
Burr?
I
Yeah,
thought it
it's
was
Bill Burr.
roofing in the fucking
roofing as a
summer.
redhead,
in July.
which I have done and is absolutely not
I
recommendable.
feel like that's a rite of passage in Boston. You have to have been a roofer at some point.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't a pro. I've just done I've done roofs.
I can't. I would never trust myself to be on a roof.
I did it with my dad and my uncle once, not professionally, but like it was fucking.
Just fucking went up there. It's
Yeah, it
so
was-
fucking.
it was
the
smaller.
risk
It was like a
the risk
cabin.
reward is just so not worth.
We were
it.
replacing, dude. There was like a hurricane or a storm or whatever upstate New York, and we were replacing the roof on a cabin that we had, and it was
Yeah.
Thankfully, it's only like one story, but it was still fucking not
Oh,
fun. Dude.
Terrifying. Yeah.
The heat's fucking beating down on you. Not good.
All right. Well, I think we're doing.
How you feeling, dude?
Let's give
feeling
first of
good.
all have Kinback give a shout out for your podcast.
My podcast is the Master Daters. Who knows how much longer it's gonna go for, but it's going right now.
And you have your
it's-
co-host is
My co-host is El Orlando.
shout out to
She's
El
a
Orlando.
Great comic, great podcaster.
Do you have any things you want to plug other than Master Daters? What is it at Master Daters?
Yeah, at Master Daters and Grizzly Pear comedy pretty much every night.
Pretty
Hey,
much
check
every
Kinback.
night. dude.
He's always there, rocking it.
Yeah,
Me, I'm always at Brooklyn Comedy Club. Check it out.
Instagram
Oh yeah, Mike T. Kerrigan.
at Dylan Krasinski on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. And Sea Otter Town Hall is out every Thursday. Give it a subscribe. Give it a listen. We appreciate you being here. And that is a wrap on this show. Thank
right.
you, Chris.
God bless.
For being
Fun.
here.
Thanks for having me.
Woo!